Before we get into everything today, let me just give you guys a quick update on the channel. I've had a couple of you guys comment recently, so I just wanted to get this out of the way real quick. This will only take 1 minute. I'm freeing up a lot of time here over the next week or so. I've been working 80, 90, 100 hours a week since December, so I haven't had any time to get my new home studio set up. I've got my desk, I've got everything. I just need a little bit of time to put it up. I know this is not aesthetically pleasing. I don't like it any more than you do. But over the next few weeks, there's going to be a lot of visual changes here on the channel. So just stick with me, bear with me. We're going to get this thing set up. All right, let me go ahead and get into everything. I know we've talked a lot about NBA ratings for the playoffs, especially this week. And I try not to duplicate content here on the channel in the same week unless it's absolutely necessary. And I feel like this is necessary because I feel like a lot of you guys are getting bad information when it comes to ratings for the NBA playoffs. I have seen a lot this week regarding NBA playoff ratings. I posted a video the other day talking about the remaining four teams in the playoffs being bad for the NBA, at least in terms of television ratings. Now, my video was posted right before the newest ratings report was released for the later games in the second round. And of course, many of you read reports from the woke sports media and believed what you saw. I've seen comments from a lot of you claiming that playoff ratings are up 40%, 50%. You don't know what you're talking about. The NBA playoffs are surging in the ratings. Clearly, those of you who believe this are listening to the woke sports media, and that's fine. That's fine. I mean, it's hard not to believe it. We all want the NBA to do well. You could also be listening to other YouTube channels that are similar to mine. Someone brought to my attention that I believe it was Black and White Sports or Sports Wars or one of those channels did a video the other day claiming that NBA ratings for the playoffs are surging because LeBron James is out. Now, look, I'm not here to bash or to denigrate Black and White Sports or Sports Wars. Both of those channels, they do great work. I had actually never heard of them until one of you guys brought them to my attention. And I checked out a couple of their videos, and they are on point with a lot of their takes. We agree with each other on a lot of things, most of the time anyway. But it is okay to disagree sometimes. So don't take this video as me putting those guys down. But on this particular point, I just don't agree with them. I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to convince you that since woke LeBron James is out of the playoffs, all of the casual viewers that LeBron turned away with his woke politics are returning to the NBA. I wish that were the case, but it's not. Now, before I go any further, let me get this out of the way. I am a diehard NBA fan. I love the NBA. I don't want to see the NBA struggle. I want to see the league flourish. Don't take these videos that I post on NBA ratings that it's me relishing in the fact that the NBA is not doing well. That's not the case. I mean, the NFL is my favorite sports league. NFL Sundays are my thing. 17 Sundays a year, I'm watching NFL Red Zone. If the NFL's doing poorly in the ratings, I'm going to tell you. Whether I like it or not, I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to sugarcoat or spin the facts. I'm not going to spin the ratings to fit my own personal agenda. And if you don't believe me, just go check the archives. Last fall, I blasted the NFL. I blasted them for going woke during week 1. I covered the decline in NFL ratings all throughout the season. My job here on the channel is to give you guys the truth, whether it fits my personal agenda or not. And believe me, if you've been following the channel a while, then you know I'm no fan of woke politics in the NBA. I would like nothing more than for LeBron James to be out of the playoffs and for me to be able to come on here and tell you guys that the ratings for the playoffs are surging. But it's just not the case. I want to give credit to The Athletic for the research that I'm about to share with you. Those guys did all the heavy lifting for me on this. Now, a lot of people are making a big deal about Game 7 of Bucks Nets last Saturday night. That game pumped a pretty decent rating. nearly 7 million viewers on TNT. It was the second largest audience of the season for the NBA. Now, on the surface, that seems like a good thing. But again, you have to look at ratings in perspective. It is all about perspective. The NBA has yet to see a playoff game beat the Mavs Lakers on Christmas Day, which drew over 7 million viewers. Now, just think about that for a second. We're in the conference finals. There hasn't been a playoff game that has drawn a larger audience than the NBA did on Christmas Day in the regular season. Also, Warriors Rockets, second round of the playoffs back in 2019, they averaged 7 million viewers per game. Not just one game drew 7 million. That's what they averaged throughout the entire series. The media is pushing this myth that playoff ratings are surging, but it's all smoke and mirrors. It is an illusion. I've mentioned this to you guys before, but I'm going to bring this up again because obviously some didn't get it the first time. Nielsen and the NBA are now counting out-of-home viewership in the overall ratings for the NBA playoffs. Now, what this means, they are counting people watching in bars, restaurants, hotels, hospitals, any place with an NBA game on TV that is not at your house. Obviously, this is a flawed metric. Now, sure, some people at bars and restaurants are watching the game, but most people in there, they're not really paying attention. Counting this number, the out-of-home viewership, has inflated ratings for the NBA playoffs by an estimated 11%. Now, without this added number, it's estimated that the second round playoff ratings would be down as much as 25% when compared to 2019. Even with out-of-home viewership, overall playoff ratings, first round, second round, are down 10% when compared to 2019. Now again, back in 2019, everyone thought ratings could not get any worse for the NBA. 2019 playoff ratings were considered disastrous. Now at the time, the media blamed LeBron James not being involved in the playoffs for the low ratings. Last year, when LeBron James and the Lakers won the title, they blamed the bubble environment for the low ratings. This year, the media is all out of excuses. They can't blame anything. I mean, what the hell do you blame? So they are tweaking these numbers and they're pretending that ratings are up. The other day, Mark Cuban tweeted that viewership for the playoffs is the highest it's been since the 2002-2003 season. And what he means by viewership, it is the percentage of people with TVs in use that are watching the NBA. The NBA didn't start tracking this metric until 2003. This is kind of what I'm talking about. They are reaching at this point. Seriously, does anyone really believe the NBA is setting ratings records this season? Come on! I mean, we're coming off the lowest rated regular season in the history of the NBA. And you want me to believe that we're setting viewership records for the playoffs? It doesn't make any sense. The following numbers that I'm about to share with you include out-of-home viewership. Now, we are comparing these to 2019. The 2019 ratings do not include OOH viewership, so keep that in mind as we go through this. Ratings for the second round of the playoffs this season are down 17%. Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals on ABC broadcast television, Clippers-Suns, was the least watched conference finals opener in the history of the NBA. The NBA hasn't hit 7 million viewers at any point during the playoffs. Of the top 5 most watched NBA games of the season, only 2 of those games are playoff games. One is the Christmas Day game I mentioned earlier, which is number 1. The other 2 are the All-Star game and the play-in game between the Lakers and the Warriors, which, I mean, I guess we can consider that a playoff game, but you get my point. We're in the conference finals, and most of these games aren't beating ratings for the damn All-Star game. There is a reason that the NBA is suddenly counting out-of-home viewership towards their ratings number. If playoff ratings were surging with just traditional ratings, there would be no need to spend these numbers. They started counting out-of-home viewership to prop the numbers up. They want you to believe that the NBA is back, when the truth is, the ratings are still in decline. Let me give you an analogy. There are channels here on YouTube that buy YouTube views. Now, why do they do this? To prop up their viewership numbers. The thinking is, if people see that their video has 10,000 views instead of 10 views, then more people would be inclined to watch their video. It's the same thing with the NBA. The league and the media want you to believe that more people are watching the NBA playoffs than before. We're setting viewership records. They're playing on the age-old adage of the fear of missing out. If the media can get people to believe the NBA playoffs are the biggest thing on television right now, then more people will be inclined to watch. The casual viewer will come back. They can spin these numbers however they want, but there's just no getting away from the truth. Now, I hope this clears everything up. I didn't want this to be a preachy video. I hope it didn't come across that way. But like I said earlier, I want the NBA to do well. I wish I could come on here and tell you that with woke LeBron James eliminated, that playoff ratings are surging, setting records even. It would definitely fit my narrative, fit my agenda, but we don't push agenda here on the channel. My job is to give you the truth. The ratings are what they are. And what they are is not good. I mean, they're not as bad as last year, but they're not good. I mean, like I said, 2019 ratings were bad, and this year's playoffs aren't beating 2019. So that's what it is. NBA playoff ratings aren't good. So let me know what you think of all the info that I've shared with you here today. Again, thanks to The Athletic for doing the legwork for me. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.